Okay, let's do it. We will need some bands today, by the way. Mine are all soggy because I forgot them and left them out in the rain yesterday. But yeah, grab some bands if you haven't already. Just wait for Nicola to come back and Andrea before I disappeared. Sorry, should have said. Right, okay, so coming to standing, going wide. Yeah, let's go. We'll start wide with the legs. So starting wide with the legs. Just give everybody a moment to get back on shot. Marvelous. All right, so wide through the legs. You're going to hinge forward at the hips, bring the fingertips or the hands, whichever, down to the floor, and just letting the hips go from side to side. So I'm twisting the hips, keeping the knees straight to start with. So it's just a little bit of a stretch into the groin, letting the hips twist from side to side. Nice and loose through the shoulders, no tension at the back of the neck. You can let the head hang. If you want to bring the hands down for a bit of a stretch into the hamstrings and lift the tailbone up. Like I say, you get more stretch in the hamstrings. And then just make it a little bit bigger, bending one knee to one side, straightening and then bending the other. So just making a deeper stretch into the groin. Just shifting side to side, nice and steady, nice and easy first thing. And then if you wish, make it a little bit deeper. If you want to go a little bit wider, because kind of see I'm just inching my feet out a little bit just so I can get and sink a little bit lower. You're going to come to one side and just pause. Maybe add a little bit of a soft bounce, very soft, no force. And then switch to the other side, and again, tiny little bounce. And stretching into the groin. And then come back center and just bend the knees. So bending the knees out over the feet and then straightening back up. So bending the knees and straightening back up. I'm going to sink the hips down so you feel that stretch into the groin again, and then straighten and lift the tail, bend and straighten. So the hands are still on the floor at this moment. But on this next one, sink the hips down so you're in a wide squat position and bring the hands off the floor. And then again, just side to side. So I'm just sort of loosening up through the hips, side to side. Sink a little bit lower if you can. And then bring the hands back down to the mat. Walk the legs in and come down, all the way down onto the mat. So coming into our, you know, I need to think of a name for this. So we're calling it Eric this morning because I can't think of a name for it. It's the stretch where we do that. So bring one arm out overhead, whichever. Thread the other arm through. And then walk the fingertips round as far as they will go. So you're underneath your armpit. And then you try to lift your armpit up to the sky. Hold and breathe. See if you can rotate a little bit further on every out breath. And slowly release, and then switch to the other side. So opposite arm overhead, thread the needle through, back of the shoulder comes down, walk the top hand around as far as it will go, and then lifting the armpit up to the sky. Breathe and hold. Open a little bit further if you can. Hold in there. And then slowly release. Coming all the way down onto the mat for our shoulder stretch. One arm out to the side. Try and roll the front of the shoulder away from the mat. Keep it there as you twist. Top leg or top knee pointing up to the sky. And then roll back and switch sides. So we're going to keep it moving. Yeah, side to side. Roll and release. Roll and release. Nice and easy. No force. Keeping the front of the shoulder away from the floor if you can. Couple more. And come back to center. And then we're going to grab a band. So we're going to do the bug. We've not done this for a while, but it's going to be on the feet, and it's this movement. And we were using or I was using a light band before. I'm going to have a bash with a stronger band. It's up to you. So we're going to do the banded bug with the legs. We're going to do some hip abduction with the band. We're going to do the banded bridge, and then we're going to come into some side planks. So I was going to try a thick band for those 3 exercises, but it's up to you. You can always swap. I'll give you the option to swap, but I'm going to give this one a bash today. So I'm going to go around the feet, balls of the feet, or middle of the foot, whichever, and then come back down onto your mat on your back. So the idea is that the band stays taut. So even when you're in this position with knees over hips, there's some tension on the band. And then when you switch legs, the band stays parallel to the floor. So there's no angle on the band, yeah, parallel to the floor. So no hands to start with. Let's just try the nice, easy switch. So there'll be a tendency to want to bring the feet closer together as you switch, and you'll feel the tension go off the band. So you've got to keep the legs almost like the tracking. Well, they are the tracking in line with the hips, or even slightly wider than the hips. So keep switching sides. Now see if you can pull the knee that's coming in, see if you can pull that even closer to you. Yeah, so I'm trying to use my hip flexors to bring the knee further into the chest. So that's where the work is. Yeah, the other leg is providing the resistance, but the knee coming to the chest is the one that's doing the work. Switching sides, really pull it in. Switching sides, pull, 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 pull. Pull, 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 pull. Keep it going. We're going to do 3 more. Last 2. And last 1. And then bring the band to the ankles and turn onto your side. We're going to be on an elbow. So band's around the ankles. Put some tension on the band. So your feet are obviously not together because you've got tension on the band. So that's your starting point. Not going to be a big movement. Make sure the hips are rolled and stacked one on top of the other, so you're not rolling backwards. In fact, almost feel like you're rolling forwards. And then from there, we're going to lift and lower against that resistance. Don't let the tension off the band. It's only small. You're controlling the tension the whole time. The other thing to watch is that you're not sinking into your bottom shoulder. Push the floor away with the elbow so you're nice and lifted. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1. And then we switch sides. Same thing, stack the hips. Make sure you're not rolling backwards. Put some tension on the band. Lift and lower there. So in terms of the knee, my knee is either pointing straight forward or slightly down, and that's going to hit your glute. If you are turning the knee up, I'm going to work through the hip flexor again, which we've already done. So let's hit the glute. Don't sink into your bottom shoulder. 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Well done. Just switching sides, just switching ends of mat. Just for some reason, I like facing this way, which is where it is. Bring the band around the knees this time. So coming into our bridge. When you're ready, gently flatten out the lower back. Lift the hips up. Just pause there, checking in. One on line through shoulder, hip, and knee. And then from there, we're going to take the legs out against the resistance of the band. So I'm lifting the feet, turning the feet onto their edges, if you like. So I can really open into the band. Keeping lifted. glutes working, stretch on the front of the hip flexors, keeping the hips nice and open. Press out into the band. 4 more. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Lower the hips. Take the band back to the feet for round 2. So we're back to our banded bug. If you want to add the arms in, you can, but I'm trying to get you to focus more today on what's happening at hip flexor. So like I said, when you switch legs, the outstretched leg is creating the resistance. It's this leg that's coming into the chest. You want to really pull it in against that resistance. Switch, don't lose the tension, and then pull. Switch, pull. Switch, really pull that knee in. Switch, pull. Keep going. Last one. And then same thing, you bring the band to the ankles, turn onto your side, stack the hips, lift up out of your bottom shoulder, put some tension on the band, and we're going to lift and lower from there. Five, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Switching sides. Same thing, lift up out your bottom shoulder, lift and lower against the resistance. Try not to let the tension go in the band. It means you're working the whole time instead of getting a little break. 4, 3, 2, and last one. And then back to our bridge against the resistance of the band. So back up to the knees. Flatten out the lower back, lift the hips up into your bridge. Same thing, pressing out into the band, go as wide as you can. Well, say that, as wide as you can while staying lifted. The wider you go, the more you're going to sink. Oh, it's like dodgy knicker elastics, just rolled up my legs. Keep going. Let's go 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one. And lower the hips down, and you can take your elastic off. So we're coming into side planks. It's been a while since we've played with side planks. So we're going to be on an elbow. It's your choice. You can either be knees bent, so side plank here with a leg lift. You can be 3/4 side plank, so one leg out, and we do the leg lift. Or if you're feeling frisky, you can go full on with the legs outstretched, and we're going to add the leg lift in. We're just going to do 3 each side. So your choice. If you think you can manage 3 in full, do that. If it's too much, we'll drop to a lower level on the next side, but we're going to keep coming back to it. So from wherever you are, whichever side plank you're doing, lift the hips up. Plant the hand this time on top. So imagine you've got the resistance of the band here. You're going to lift the leg for 3, nice and slow. 2, and last one. Hold the plank, lift the hips a little bit higher, and then lower with control. Switching sides. Same thing, feet stacked. Same thing as we before were saying about the this bottom shoulder. Push the floor away so you stay nice and lifted. Much more active position for the shoulder. Lift the hips. And then we lift. Nice and slow. 3, 2, 1. Hold the plank, lift the hips a little bit higher. And then lower with control. And we're switching sides. So we're now doing some rotation on this next one. Again, your choice. Bent, half, full, your options. So same thing, lift the hips up. This time we're going to take the hand to the sky. So this time we're going to thread this needle. So we're going to bring the top hand, underneath the armpit. So you're going to reach as far as you can. You're rotating and then rotating back arm to the sky, and do 3. So number 2, rotate. And back to the sky one last time. And back, hold the plank, lift the hips a little bit higher, don't sink, don't sink. And then lower with control, and then we do the other side. Stack the hips, push the floor away with the bottom shoulder, lift up, arm to the sky. And then when you're ready, rotating through. Two more. All about your ability to control your rotation. Last one. And slowly release. Okay, so coming on to all fours. So we've been playing with our knee hovers. We've been playing with all sorts of stuff here in our little beast kind of place. We've been playing with our crab reaches, this kind of thing. So we're going to transition between the two. I'll show you how to transition between the two once I've sorted my hair out, which seems to be coming down. It's a bad hair day today. I got very wet yesterday, so it's kind of all over the place. Right, all fours. So just starting off with our B stretch to begin. So you've got your 4-point kneeling position, and you take the hands slightly further in front, just slightly. Hover the knees, take the hips back, and let the head sink, let the hips sink, let the armpit sink towards the floor. Hold and breathe. Back to your knee hover. So back into our beast. Right, so from here, it's called an under switch. So it's why, bring your knees down. It's why we've been practicing the crawling movements. Opposite hand, opposite leg, lift. So it's gonna look like this. Opposite hand, opposite leg. You rotate all the way through. So you're into that crab position that we've been playing with. To come back, opposite hand, opposite foot. Back to your all fours. Yeah. So from here, let's go right hand, left foot. So right hand, left foot. All the way over. And you're into your crab position. Yeah. Coming back, same hand, same foot. So it's right hand, left foot. They lift. You pivot. And you come back to all fours. And you might need to do a little bit of jiggery pokery with your hands and feet once you get there, and that's okay. So the opposite side, right foot, left hand, all the way through into your crab. Left hand, right foot, all the way through, back to all fours. And put the knees down. Doddle. Nicely done. Right, okay. So we're going to do the under switch, and we're going to come into the crab reach. Yeah, so here we go. Knees hover, right hand, left foot, all the way through. Free hand in the middle, so that's your right hand. Yeah, lift the hips, look down at the bottom hand, wrap the other hand overhead, so upper arm next to the ear, elbow bent, lift the hips a little bit more, reach the elbow. Lower down, but don't let your bottom touch the floor. Instead, pick up your left foot and pivot all the way back to 4-point kneeling. You stuck, Nicola? No, she's got it. There she is. And then lower the knees. Getting complicated now, isn't it? Good job we've only got 3 left. Imagine if we'd have been keeping going into September. All right, so same thing, hover the knees. Left hand, right foot. So the right foot is going underneath you. The left hand is coming over you. Don't put it down. Instead, lift the hips and take the left hand overhead. Looking down at the right hand. Lift the hips a little bit more. Lower the hips just to the hover. Don't put the hand down. Instead, pick up your right foot and come back to your 4-point kneeling. And lower the hips. Not hips, knees. How are we doing? Are we good? Yeah, okay, right. Let's try again on the other side. Try, we are doing. Let's do it again on the other side. So hover the knees, right hand, left foot. Over you come. That's it. Lift the hips, reach the arm, crab reach. Been here before. Lower your bottom to the hover. Don't put the hand down. Instead, pick up the opposite foot, bring it underneath you, and come back to your 4-point kneeling. Let's go straight away onto the other side. Right leg goes under, left arm comes over. Lift the hips into your reach. Hover your bottom. Pick up your right foot, take it underneath you, back to a 4-point hover, and then lower the knees and just come off your wrist for a moment. Give them a wiggle or a roll, whichever feels nice. So let's bring some of those movements together. Yeah, we've got the, very quickly, you've got the stretch, we've got the hips up, we've got the plank, we've got the hips up, we've got the hover, we've got the plank. Yeah, we've got all of that. We've been playing with all of those. Let's do those and add in the switch to the reach. Yeah, we'll work through it if my brain will do it, because I didn't write this, but you seem to be doing all right with it. So I'm gonna add in. So we'll see how it goes. What could possibly go wrong on a Tuesday morning? Here we go. 4-point kneeling, slightly further out with the hands so you get a full plank. Toes are tucked under. Hover the knees. Take the bottom back to your heels for your stretch. Lift the hips up to the sky and then lower the hips down, coming out into your plank. Hips back up to the sky. Bottom to heels, knees hovering. Come forward into plank. Come back to your knee hover. Under switch. Left leg, right hand. So the left leg comes under, the right arm goes over. You plant your foot down. You lift the hips, look down at the bottom hand into your crab reach. Lower the hips to a hover. Pick up your left foot, it's going to go underneath you. You come back to your knee hover, and we go to the other side. Right foot goes underneath you, left hand comes over, plant the foot, lift the hips, reach the arm. You can down at the bottom hand. Hips hover, pick up your right foot, it goes underneath you, left hand comes down and you're back into your 4-point kneeling. Take the hips back, bottom to heels. Lift the hips up to the sky, lower the hips to the plank, lift the hips back up, bottom to heels, knees hovering, forward to plank. Just because I'm feeling frisky, let's add in the knee to elbow. So right knee to right elbow on the outside, lower the knee down the arm, lift it back up, back to your plank. Left knee, left elbow, lower, lift, back out to plank, come back to your knee hover, and then lower the knees. We'll call it a draw there. Well done. Roll the wrists, whatever kind of wrist love you need, just to take the pressure off. And then we're coming to standing for the balance work and some lunges and all that kind of good stuff. How slippy is this puddle? It's not so bad, right? So we were playing with this yesterday and I kind of kept it really slow and kind of flowy and a bit loose. Let's make it a little bit more purposeful today. So I'm going to go right leg stepping forward. So left arm is going to go up. So we're going to do a lunge reach. So the right leg steps forward. You've got your lunge. Reach as far as you can forward. Back up to vertical. Push back. See if you can balance. Hold your balance. And then we're going to take it out into your single leg deadlift. But I'm keeping that same arm reaching forward. Yeah, so it's just a variation with the arms. This arm that's with the leg that's up at the back, and the same arm now reaching forward. Back up to your balance, step forward into your lunge and reach. reaching lunge, back up, push back up into balance, and then take it into your single leg deadlift. One long line, back up to balance. One more, stepping out, reaching lunge, back up to vertical, step back to balance, and then single leg deadlift. One long line as best we can, back up to balance, and then release. We're going to go in again on the other side. All right, so right arm up. Which means we're stepping forward with the left leg. Nice long lunge, get organized, then reach it forward. Back up to vertical first, push away, come up into balance. Take the leg behind, stretch it out long, single leg deadlift, or variation thereof. Back up to balance, step out to lunge and reach. Push back to balance. No, nearly. Into your single leg deadlift. Until they give a better name for these. Back up to balance. Last one. Step it forward and reach. Back up. Step back to balance. Single leg deadlift. Back up to balance. And release it all down. Nicely done. Let's just finish off with a quick pretzel coming down onto the mats, lying on your side. Hang on to the top knee, bottom ankle, open out to the side. Breathe and hold. So every exhale, open the chest a little bit more. And slowly unravel yourself and we switch sides. Holding the top knee, bottom ankle, pull that leg behind you. Forgot to add that step. I did do it, but I didn't say it. So pull this leg behind you so that you can get some stretch on your quad and then open the chest. Exhale, open. Exhale, open. Hold and breathe. And slowly release. And just come over into our child's pose. So you're going to put big toes together, knees slightly wider than the hips, sink the hips back, and then release the armpits down towards the mat. And just holding there, just breathe. Just take a moment to just relax down into the mat. This has been a bit of effort expended. And then slowly release. We are done. Well done. If you manage to get through, if some of that moving through those under switches and movements from side to side kind of made your head want to explode, that's it's absolutely normal. It's completely different to sort of some of the stuff you've probably done before, which is fine. That's the whole point, essentially. But you're moving through essentially several different planks and rotations, so it's time under tension. It's the amount of time that you're spending suspended. So instead of just doing a plank and holding it for 3 minutes, which has its value, it does have its value. It's not, I'm not one of these people that doesn't like planks. But you're going through movements while you're in that suspended state. So it's teaching your body more than just the ability to stabilize. But there's a lot in it. You're like, my brain wants to explode. Where do I go now? Which hand is it? Which arm is it? It just takes a bit of time. But I hope you like it. I love them movements. I kind of like that, you know, that kind of flow instead of going from one thing to another, like very staccato. I like to be able to move through stuff. So that's why. So a little bit of that, a little bit of other stuff that we're used to, and all is good with the world. Are we happy?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm very conscious that you're doing something on Thursday evening.
Oh yes, the knees. Knee workshop. Yeah, with my buggered knee. I need it.
Afterwards, it's GCSE results day, and we're going out for dinner. So,
I'm crap at picking dates, aren't I?
Oh, no.
Yes, the replay will be available. Yeah. Just register for it, Andrea. Ask me for the link, or if you can find the link, register for it, and then I know who to email afterwards and say the link to the replays here, because I probably won't put it in the group. It's a bit big, but I might do. It depends. But register for it, and then I know who's coming and who wants it. Is that all right?
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
that's
Brilliant. All right, I'll see you tomorrow then.
morning. Okay.
See you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye.